Once upon a time in New Orleans, a friendship tore down boundaries to be with each other. It all began at Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Charter School in New Orleans. Jack and Jill met each other on the playground, instantly wanting to go play basketball together. Later, Jill did not even realize that Jack was so good at basketball, and she wanted to play some one-on-one tournament at her home. Well, turns out when they're finding out where they live across from the canal, but oh gee whiz, look at this. There's only 2 ways to get across from this canal, and the main bridge isn't even pedestrian friendly. There's traffic jams right after school. What are you going to do, Jack? You can't get to her now. We're wondering, why is this canal such a problem? A canal really breaks up the grid of the city, and that is something that is really problemsome. Jack and Jill began to identify some green areas that maybe they could make into something new, thinking, how can we connect this with really interesting bridges to really connect the space from one to the other so that I can get to Jack and Jack can get to Jill to play their one-on-one basketball game. Something to consider is the locations of crime and how that can affect where they're kind of going and maybe what they want to design. NHP lots here. There's a couple that would be pretty convenient for them to kind of build around, considering that they'd probably be around that area anyway. Empty sites, empty lots. Man, what are you going to do with those? Well, let me tell you. A community garden, and it's going to be beautiful with a fence for protection. Why is this important? Well, because 34% of children are obese in New Orleans. Really low access to healthy food. So by providing these green gardens, we will be able to, give them fruit, your fresh vegetables, fresh produce, especially hoping to lower the average obesity rate in New Orleans. Transportation use is something that we should really consider, especially when it comes to the obesity rate. But the majority of people are using their cars, trucks, or vans. So maybe by providing some areas that we can have bike trails, introduce areas where you can walk around and feel safe, I think that can really help with that, including colorful walkways, maybe a bioswale, art installations, lights along the way. Now, at the very end of this, Jack and Jill really come together because they began to realize just how important it is to find ways to break boundaries to get to each other.